Hey you guys, welcome back to another CzieReacts, where we watch the fun, weird, crazy, and interesting, and question everything. Real or fake, you decide, let me know, leave it in the comments below, because I will meet you there after the video. The video is for entertainment purposes only, so let's get into it.
Okay, this is the story of the curse of the Romanian rat. It's the most traumatic story of my life, and yes, it's true, and I got video proof to prove it. So earlier in the day, I had avoided being bitten by Nosferatu. We had escaped from the 6'4" bearded man nun, and we had evaded getting captured at the abandoned train depot. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you got to go watch the first video to catch up. But anyway, earlier in the day, I'd eaten a rat. Now, the reason is because we were with the 6'4" bearded man nun, and we were at a market. Now, Brian and I didn't have any money. I was just using my Dunkin' Donuts money to travel, and so we were willing to stay with whoever would take us. You eat whatever somebody gave you. You're just living off the land of the world. So we're at this market. We have very little money, and the bearded man nun said, "You should get this, get this." And she gets this thing on a stick. It looks kind of like a gerbil or a rat on a stick, and she shoves it to me and gives it to me. And I'm looking at it like, I'm not going to eat this. And Brian goes, "Don't be disrespectful, eat it." I'm like, what? So anyway, so I go and I start eating it. Then she gives him one, and he eats it. And so I'm like, oh my God, I think I just ate a rat. But anyway, it was horrible. And this is a video of Bri picking on me for being so upset that I'd eaten a gerbil rat.
Eating hamster meat. Brian's not too happy.
So later on, I started to have stomach pains. I was like, my stomach feels horrible, stomach feels horrible. Well, Bri relieves himself of his rat gerbil thing. And so, but later, after we've escaped everybody, we get off the train, I start having horrible pains, and I'm so sick, and I can't see straight, and I can't walk, and the whole world's spinning. So Brian takes me, we're in this small little town in Romania, to this hospital. So this little kind of like shack place. And when we go in, I'm on the bed, and I saw there's bed sheets with blood stains on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And so Brian's fussing at the people. There's like blood stains. So they end up taking the sheets off. Don't change the sheets. Put me on this blank bed. The doctor comes in and says, your appendix is ruptured. We've got to perform surgery now. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Y'all seen any of those movies like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with all the weapons are hanging like from the ceiling and stuff? That's what I saw over in the corner. I saw all those like weapons hanging over in the corner. I'm like, what's going on? Oh my God. And this is Bri videotaping me when I'm in the hospital.
This is in a hospital in Romania where Ron was diagnosed as having a ruptured appendix. Is Ron waiting for his surgery?
And so I'm in bad shape. So the doctor then comes in and he's like, I need to see your visas to be in Romania. You're Americans. And I'm like, visas? And he's like, yeah, I need to see your visas. If you don't have visas, I'm going to call the military to come get you. And we're like, you have to have visas? And so we're like, what's going on? And so he said, if you don't give $6,000, I'm going to call the military and not perform the surgery. And Brian's like, what? And I'm like, what? And so I'm kind of out of it. Well, Brian tells me that he ended up walking outside. He's trying to think, what can we do? What can we do? We had no money. Our credit card had like a $300 limit. So he said he went around to the back of the shack hospital place and he saw freshly dug graves. These are the graves. And he's like, freshly dug graves? What is going on? So he comes back in. He sneaks in. The doctor's not in there. He whispers in my ear, Ron, I'm getting you out of here. I'm like, what? He picks me up and he starts carrying me. We are running out of there. We run back to the little hostel place where we were going to stay. We got our bags. We get to the train station and we're on the train, trying to get out of there. And I'm like, bro, I'm so sick. I'm so sick. He's like, Ron, you just got it. We got to get you to a different hospital. Got to get you to a different hospital. We're almost at the border. We'll get you to Hungary. We'll go to a hospital there. So when we get to the border, the military gets on to check everyone's passports and whatnot with these big machine guns. And when they get to us, they see me and I'm all sick and I can't see straight. And they think I've done a drug overdose. Well, they didn't care about that. They wanted the drugs. They're like, where are the drugs at? So they're like going through all of our stuff. They rifled through all of our bags, trying to find the drugs. Of course, there were none. And so finally, Brad gives them $50, which was like the last cash he had. And so we're like, oh my gosh. So we ended up getting to the airport. And because I was feeling better, and Brad's like, Ron, do you think you can fly? I said, I think I can fly. I'm feeling a little better. He said, okay, let's go in and get your plane changed. Let's get you routed through Paris to go back to home to America so your parents can pick you up, take you to the hospital. So I get on the airplane. I feel so sick, like I can't see straight. But I'm like, I'm okay enough, I can fly home. I get to the Paris de Gaulle airport, and I got my backpack, and I'm trying to change to my next flight. And I start feeling so weak, and I see these lockers. This is back when they used to have lockers in airports. So I go over and I open a locker, put in my backpack, and close it. And I'm like, maybe one day I'll come back to Paris and get it or not. I don't care. All those clothes smell nasty anyway. And I'm heading to my gate, and I feel lightheaded, and I pass out. The next thing I know, I remember, open my eyes, I'm in an ambulance, I'm heading to the hospital, and the windows are down, and I see the buildings passing, and I remember thinking, oh, Paris, I've always wanted to go to Paris. So anyway, so we get to the hospital, I'm in the hospital, and I couldn't speak. I was so weak. I remember they kept asking me my name, and I wanted to say my name, and I couldn't say my name. So they didn't know who I was because I had left my passport in my backpack in the locker. I don't even know what I was thinking. I didn't have my passport, so I had no identification. They would have had to bury me as John Doe because no one knew who I was, or like he has no identification. And so I'm sitting there and I wanted to say my name and I couldn't. But I remember the doctor, I knew he was saying appendix surgery. I knew I was going to have surgery, something. And so that night I go to sleep, and I know my surgery was the next morning. I gathered that. I wake up, it's 2:05, and I look at the little digital clock. In the bed beside me is like some old 90-year-old man in his tidy whities. He's like going, he's like moaning. I'm like, oh my God. And so I prayed and said, God, please help me. Please save me. Please, please, please save me. And I go to sleep. I woke up, it was 2:07. I felt completely fine. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel great. And so I'm pressing the button, and the nurse comes in. She's like, oui, monsieur, bon. I'm like, I'm fine. I need to go home. She's like, monsieur, no. And she's like telling me to calm down because of my appendix. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can do jumping jacks, whatever you need me to do. I got to go home. She said, no. So she's like, no. She's like, you got to stay. So the doctor comes in the morning. I'm like, really? I'm completely fine. I feel great. I'll do whatever you need me to do. He said, well, if you want to leave, you can leave. So I leave, get to the airport, call my parents, tell them what's going on. I couldn't afford a flight into North Carolina. I could only afford a flight into DC. So my parents had to drive 4.5 hours to DC. I get to DC, they pick me up. I'm sick, y'all. I don't feel good at all. We drive straight to the hospital in Belhaven, North Carolina. I'm in there for 3 nights. They said nothing was wrong with my appendix at all. They said I had partial paralysis of my left lung because the food poisoning from the rat had done something to my systems or whatnot. Oh. So I'm really sick, and I'm laying in bed. Not being able to catch your breath is horrible. I was like this. I couldn't breathe. It was bad. So I'm sitting with my mom, and all of a sudden CNN comes on, and I hear Bry on CNN. He's like, I can't believe he's gone. He was just here, and I can't believe he's gone. I'm like, Mom, look, Bry's on CNN. He thinks something has happened to me. This is horrible. And Mom's like, oh my gosh. No, Bry actually wasn't talking about me. For when Bry left me, he headed to run to the bulls in Pamplona. Because once we became vampires, that's what we were going to do. So he goes without me. Well, he goes to a youth hospital, and he actually finds an American who's like, yeah, I'll run the bulls with you. That individual is Matthew Tazio. So they go and they run with the bulls together. Bry's in Pamplona having a massive, great time. And they go and they run with the bulls. And when they do, Matthew Tazio is the very first American ever to actually be gored by a bull and running with the bulls. He had just graduated college, engineering degree, incredible young man, and he lost his life. And so it was tragic. But I said, and I thought, oh my gosh, that was supposed to be me. I was supposed to be the one to Bry's right, running with those bulls. So if it hadn't been for the curse of the rat, I would have been with Bry. And so it just kind of like shocked me. So eventually, Bry and I go on. We've been best friends our whole lives. Love Bry. I was actually the best man in his wedding. He's a beautiful bride. Love him so much. But when I was in that hospital and I was so sick, my mom said, Ron, you can't do this. You can't keep doing these adventures. I said, no, I'm going to work to the Dunkin' Donuts. I'm going to save up money, and I'm going to go live on the beaches of California with Bry. Or I'm going to go to run the Great Wall of China. And she says, well, at a local school, a teacher passed away. Why don't you go consider teaching? I didn't want to teach, but my mama said, if you don't at least go talk to the principal, I won't support anything you do for the rest of your life. You know how mamas can be. So I go to talk to the principal, and I end up meeting the students, and I'm like, I think this is what I should do. So I start teaching. 32 years later, I'm still doing it. And I don't have that wanderlust to have these big adventures where I go get turned into a vampire anymore. My thrill now is to see the world through the eyes of my students. So I've taken them all over the world. We've gone to South Africa and Japan, China, Peru, Greece, Italy, Barcelona. We go lots of places, but we're not in search of vampires. We are in search of culture. So I take my students to be a student of the world, to understand other people, just to be open-minded and global-minded in your way of thinking. And so it's been incredible. I think the world is the best textbook you can have. So I escaped the curse of the rat for adventure, and I turned that around to provide opportunities for students that will be life-changing for them. And on one of those trips I took with my students, something happened. We ended up with a striking encounter with the most famous man in the world, and that video is up next.
All right, you guys asked for it. be delivered on part 2. Let me know. I'm kind of feeling this guy as a storyteller. Let me know, should we look up the third one? Should I include that one? Let me know what your thoughts on the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm feeling his stories. I do. I am. I really like him.
The most supernatural book.
The spiritual realm is real, and if like you're a believer in Christ and a Christian or any religion really, you believe in supernatural stuff.
We already believe in things that you can't see. The Vatican, like, they've kind of loosened up on the whole UFO thing. They're like, actually, these could still fit.
Diana Pasulka, she's been on Rogan and stuff. She's the professor of religious studies at University of North Carolina. But she's like been to the Vatican. She talks about the archives where there's like a whole section about UFOs and stuff, and like how the Vatican has like some of the oldest
observatories. I totally see why it could potentially be extremely disruptive and dangerous to a degree for everyone to have some major paradigm shifting reality shock that could really mess with some people. If I was the guy who knew all the secrets and could choose whether or not to do like a one-day White House presser on the front lawn, here comes a flying saucer and some tall white aliens and the reptiles walking out, and you're like, this is real. I could see how that wouldn't really benefit me.
Yeah.
If I was them.
The damage control would be insurmountable.
Bible's like the most.
The biggest debate I see though is like aliens or demons. You know what I mean? So yeah, everybody's gonna lose their mind anyway. Like the joke, everyone loses their mind. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let's have the debate continue. Aliens or demons? Let me know.
Well, I think that the Bible's pretty clear that humanity was not its only creation. And I'm not saying that these are, items that were addressed in the Bible, but it is interesting that if you look at historical context and also documents that have existed throughout time in humanity, and we can get probably into a whole nother topic on that, but you know, you read into the book of Enoch, a lot of this advanced technologies is potentially referenced then. And so all I'm saying is that from a national security perspective, we, the American people, deserve to know what the government has. They shouldn't be hiding it, and that's what we're here to push for.
Yeah, we do.
Yo, we got the Progresso soup drops. This is soup you can suck on. Pause. Yo, I got beef pot roast, chicken nuds, tomato basil. Worms in your mouth. What does that even mean? It's individually sealed. I have a feeling that's chicken, tomato, and then the beef. All right, tomato basils.
Oh. I can't listen to that.
Oh, that's fucking nasty, dude. I was trying so hard to hold it down. Hold on, that one tastes like vomit. Like that one literally tastes like puke. Holy shit, I'm fucking crying. I thought that was gonna be the least worst one. Pretty sure this is the chicken nudes right here. That smells like bouillon. Okay, this is not too bad. I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna warm in my mouth. It's not good. It's just not as bad as the last one. I don't like that. The worst part is I don't have nothing to drink right now. I think my tongue is getting numb. I was trying to see if it was gonna warm in your mouth because I don't know what that means. My tongue feels tingly. It feels like it's burning, but nothing's hot. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I've never had soup
I
drop.
feel like this one's gonna taste like dog food. Oh, fuck. That one smells worse than the other ones. Look into it. Oh, fuck. That was the fucking worst one. Oh, fuck. I need a drink. Oh, my gosh. Oh, fuck. I can't hold it down. Okay, hold on. I have to breathe. Stuck on my fucking tongue. I need to fucking get something to drink. I need to fucking brush my teeth and fucking gargle fucking bleach. Yo.
Have not ever seen soup drops. Do you have them where you live? Are we moving in a direction of like food in capsule form soon? Like what is happening? I'm sorry, I cannot listen to certain things. Misophonia is a real thing. If you don't know about it, Google it. It sucks. Another one of my quirks.
Scientists just pulled bacteria out of 5,000-year-old ice, and it is already resistant to 10 different antibiotics before it ever even touched a human. This is obviously terrifying, but this team of researchers in Romania just dug into one of the oldest underground ice blocks on the entire planet. And by the way, they found a bacteria species that's been frozen for over 5,000 years. Okay, so leave it alone. And this is where it gets insane, because whenever they tested it against modern antibiotics, which is what we use right now in hospitals, it was resistant to 10 of them. Across 8 different drug classes, by the way, including the heavy stuff like 3rd generation last resort antibiotics. Believe it or not, that's not even the crazy part, because whenever they sequenced the genome, they found over 100 different resistant genes. They're saying that this thing developed antibiotic resistance thousands of years before we even invented antibiotics. The bacteria right now is officially technically classified as an opportunistic human pathogen, which means that under the right conditions, it can affect people. Maybe, hear me out, maybe we should leave it alone.
Create a grenade launching robot dog, would they? Meet Kodiak, developed by Skyborn Technologies. This is a purpose-built tactical machine designed for one thing: the battlefield. While previous quadrupeds were focused on surveillance, the Kodiak is moving to a direct combat role. It can be outfitted with a 12-gauge shotgun for breaching doors or a grenade launcher for clearing high threat areas. But the real power is up in its brain, armed with an AI-assisted targeting system, all-terrain mobility, and it's also built to handle the funnel of death, which is those first few seconds after breaching a door of a building. It's when the risk is the highest to humans. It's waterproof, dustproof, and ready for deployment in minutes. Total ground-to-air coordination. Skyborn is also syncing the Kodiak with their Cerebrus aerial drones. The drone finds the targets from the sky and the robot dog neutralizes it on the ground.
Wow.
We're officially entering the era of autonomous multi-domain warfare. Absolutely terrifying. So what do you think? A bit of good defense tech or a step too far?
Do not forget to question everything, and until next time, stay safe.